Return of the Mac. You the Mac, Chuck. You know that? Look outside on your Monday morning.
That meant something different back in my day.
Oh, boy. I was going to say return of the 60s, but I felt like that.
We had to keep with the song title.
Return of it. There we go. Glad to jump with us here at 6 o'clock on your Monday morning. We're back in the swing of things. Karen Campbell is in for Julia this week, and Chuck is back with us.
Boy, did Julia pick a week to be off.
Yeah, I don't know. This time, I feel like she would have enjoyed being here this week for these times.
Cold.
And we have so many districts, ladies, that are on spring break this week. You know, it goes all the way into April with some districts, but a lot of districts out this week. Perfect time to take a staycation in Indiana because our weather is going to be perfect. In fact, it's kind of cool out there right now, but take a look at our satellite and radar composite. It is dry out there, and we're not anticipating any rain, any storms, any snow, any sleet, any hail until maybe the end of the work week. Right now, though, it is cool, 38 in Indy and also in Carmel. Good morning, Pendleton. You're at 35. Shelbyville's at 38, 36 in the home of the Artesians, but in Martinsville. But you go farther south and it is colder. That's because of the cloud deck. There's a cloud deck over Muncie where it's 43. Not so much in Bloomington where it's 11 degrees cooler this morning. It's okay. We're all going to even out. The winds today out of the west-southwest, so we're already to a bit of a jump. We're 3 degrees warmer than we were at this time yesterday. And as you have that first hot cup of coffee, keep in mind the 40s around 9 a.m. and then we really take off. Again, because of daylight savings time, everything changes with sunrise and sunset. Sunset pretty late tonight compared to what we've been used to at 7:47 and a high today of 65. We'll get more on that for you in just a few minutes, but we have had a traffic issue since we were on at the beginning of the show this morning. Lindsay, is still there.
It is still there, and it's getting worse because traffic's starting to pick up as we get closer to that peak morning rush. This is up on the northwest side of town, and we're going to continue to follow this until we get this lane cleared. We've got that right lane that is blocked, and as you can see, we've got emergency crews that are still on scene. One travel lane getting by 65 northbound. This is just north of that 71st Street junction. So because of the slowdown, everything's merging over into one lane. That's creating some stop and go traffic. Check this out all the way back. This is a look at basically stopped traffic going northbound along 65. So I would recommend utilizing an alternate route because we are at that 20-minute delay mark and building now up to 23 minutes. So my recommendation would be instead of getting on 65 northbound, kind of right here at 465, to continue north on 465, then merge onto 865 westbound, where you could then re-enter 65 northbound, kind of right here on the northwest side of town. We'll continue to monitor this and let you know when it clears.
Thank you, Lindsay. New this morning, Metro Police are now investigating where two men were shot in an Eastside neighborhood.
Yeah, this happened earlier this morning, near 33rd and Midhofer. IMPD tells us police were en route to the scene for one possible person shot when they got a call for another person shot. Officers found two men shot in the back corner of a home. Both were taken to hospitals where they are in stable condition.
Now, police say that no one witnessed the shooting, but there were others that were in the house at the time, so they did hear this happening. Police believe it was a targeted attack. As Karen just said, that shooting only focused on one specific part of the home. So as we get more details, we can share them with you.
Well, this morning we are working to find out what led up to a deadly shooting inside of a senior living facility.
This happened at a Serenity Manor near Shadeland and 10th Street yesterday afternoon. Anna Chalker was there at that scene for several hours yesterday and is in studio this morning. Good morning, Anna. What did you see?
Good morning, ladies. I'll tell you, there were several officers and family members out at this scene for hours, and there was a lot of confusion from all of them because of that long initial investigation to rule the victim's death a homicide and then make an arrest. Police say a family member called 911 around 11 a.m. after finding the victim inside an apartment at the Serenity Manor Senior Living Facility. When officers got to that apartment, they say they found the woman with gunshot wounds where she was pronounced dead. Detectives also found a firearm inside, but they're still determining if this was the weapon used in the shooting. And IMPD says having witnesses with them at the time during this helped them with this crime scene.
Whenever we have a death investigation or homicide for that matter, our detectives have to methodically slow things down, work with our partners from the Marion County Crime Lab as well as the Marion County Coroner's Office. We also have to work with community members whenever we have a case of this so forth.
Our cameras were rolling when police took the 60-year-old suspect into custody, and he has been preliminarily charged with murder, and we're waiting to see if official charges will be filed. This was the latest of several homicides from over the weekend, so we'll have more on each of those coming up at 6:30.
Unfortunate there were so many, but we'll see you for more information. Thank you.
Well, this morning we are reaching out to learn more about two people shot on the near West Side.
This happened near West 10th Street and Holt Road. And this morning, Metro Police tell us that shooting happened around 8:30 last night. Police say both victims are awake and breathing at last check, but investigators didn't share any more details with us. Also, no word on any suspects. But we're checking back in this morning to figure out what led up to this shooting. We're learning new details about a man from Indiana who was shot by Secret Service near the White House yesterday.
Yeah, investigators say police had warned the Secret Service about 27-year-old Andrew Dawson from North Manchester. They said Dawson was headed to Washington, D.C., maybe armed, and was potentially suicidal.
Around midnight Saturday night, Secret Service said they found Dawson's parked car, and when they spotted him walking, they say that he pulled a gun.
As officers approached, the individual brandished a firearm, at which time an armed encounter ensued, and Secret Service personnel discharged their service weapons.
Well, Dawson was shot and taken to a hospital. No word on his condition. No one from the Secret Service was injured. D.C. police are now investigating.
Returning to the latest now in a lawsuit claiming that Fort Wayne Bishop Luers High School covered up child exploitation. Our NBC affiliate in Fort Wayne says that 3 new plaintiffs have been added to that lawsuit. We reported this first in January that families of several female students filed a lawsuit in Marion County, and they accused the Archdiocese and school leaders of failing to report pornographic videos that were created and sent out by classmates.
We are also learning more about a recent dog attack here in Indy that injured 3 women, including a Metro police officer. This happened over on the city's south side. Take a listen to this.
I just got bit by the dog and I have to shoot it. Can you start me a supervisor and an ET, please?
Yeah, you heard that 911 call there. This happened around 5:30 Saturday at the Brookwood apartment complex near US 31 in Epler. A woman called 911 saying a dog bit her and she needed help. Police say the dog also bit the responding officer and another woman. During the attack, the officer shot the dog. Both the officer and another victim were taken to a hospital, and they are expected to be okay.
Some sad news now out of Randolph County, I should say, as a volunteer firefighter has died while responding to a call. The Ridgeville fire chief tells us that Donald Hev Saylor was getting ready at the fire station when he collapsed from an apparent heart attack. Crews were heading to a mobile home fire at the time. Kaler served with several fire departments for more than 40 years. In a Facebook post, the Farmland Volunteer Fire Department called him a devoted husband, father, firefighter, and community servant. One Indiana lawmaker is now leading a new push to put a stop to career politicians in Washington.
State Senator Andy Zay wants Indiana to join the national movement to add term limits in Congress. Now, that would require changing the U.S. Constitution, which isn't easy. There are 2 ways to do it, though. First, Congress would propose an amendment and states would ratify it. And that is unlikely.
So in the second option, states initiate the change through something called a constitutional convention.
This is a big process. We are kind of in the infancy. I think we're looking at about 10 to 12 states right now, somewhere in there. Many more considering this.
You can get 12 states to sign on to a lot of things. Getting 30, which would get you close to the 2/3 that you need, that's a lot harder.
There are a lot of different opinions on this, and people against term limits insist that stability in Congress is critical. So we do have much more on this story, including our weekly political show called Crossroads Politics. If you've not seen this, you can find it on demand anytime on WTHR+. Plus, there's a new episode this morning that breaks down all the big events that happened this past week at the State House. It's at 9 a.m. on WTHR+, which is a free download on Apple TV, Fire Stick, and Roku.
Well, still to come, the search is on this morning to find a missing college student in the Dominican Republic. What authorities know about her and why they say time is of the essence to find her.
And wildfires popping up across several states right now. We'll tell you about the efforts this morning to get them under control. Good morning, Chuck.
Hey, good morning, ladies. Folks, The calendar says March. The weather says late April, early May. How about this? 62 by 3 p.m., 65 by 5. And by Thursday of this week, we're back in the 70s. My 7-day outlook is a good one, and it's coming up.